find out next, a rare moment of agreement for our political experts. Why they say Congressman Ken Buck ought to at least answer some of our questions. One glance at this woman gives you no idea what she's been through. And we say goodbye to a Southern Colorado man with the help of one of the thousands of students he inspired. But first, we have a birthday to celebrate. Who knew a train that runs on such a flat surface could ride like a roller coaster? What a year it's been for the train to the plane. From the highs, like the opening with pomp and circumstance.
This is a big deal for the city of Denver, isn't it?
It really is.
To the lows, the guards at every crossing, the quiet zones that aren't, the videos. Oh, the videos. So many videos.
Come on, you piece of...
The explanations, too.
These kinds of fine-tuning things certainly happen on every line across the country.
The problems are bad enough the train is operating on a waiver from the feds, one that's been extended a handful of times. Oh, what a ride it's been to see if the train is working. One day, yes. The next, no. The real answer, sorta. Infancy has not been kind to the A-line. But tomorrow starts the toddler years. The question, will the tantrums continue, or will the train age gracefully? And this may be a good sign for the future of the A-line. The day before the train to the plane's birthday, RTD says the crossing gate timing issue is fixed. But the agency still needs to request another waiver from the Federal Railway Administration because of a few unresolved issues with the state's Public Utilities Commission. So that means you'll continue to see the guards at the crossing gates and hear that horn for a little while longer. I sat down with RTD's spokesman today to chat about the near future. RTD spokesman Nate Curry joining us now. And Nate, when I talked to you on the phone yesterday and set this up, you said you had some good news. Share it.
Yeah, we've got some good news. We are coming close to the end of our trial period here where we've had to get things fixed. And so we've asked for the G line testing to resume. We've asked for one final extension on the A line with some unique characteristics in that. And we've also gotten approval to operate a couple new stations on the B line. So major progress for us, and it's appropriate that it's coming on the one-year anniversary of the A-line.
What's gotten you to that point?
You know, hard work, I think. Obviously, a lot of folks that are wanting this to succeed, and just that we need to get it done. And it's cost some money on our partner's part, and just patience, I think, and a little bit of reputation on our part, obviously. So we've been all diligently working at this. It's taken a little longer than we expected, but you know, it's running really well. You know, I think we're at just over 90% now on-time performance for the year, which is remarkable. 94% so far for the month, and it's heading in the right direction. And it's really gratifying to be finally in these final stages, so that I won't have to hear Kyle talk about the A-line very much anymore.
Really? You think we're going to give up?
No.
The issue for the longest time has been the gates, and the gates not going down on the right timing that the design was made for. Good news on that end.
Very good news on that. You know, we've gotten the data put back into the system that we wanted to get, and we feel like we've got it refined enough to where it's basically meeting the design time, which means it's operating as intended. And so we've submitted that suggestion to our friends at the FRA, and they're reviewing that now. So, but to get to that point where we're confident enough to make that request is significant.
It appears we won't be getting any answers from Congressman Ken Buck about his flip-flop on the Republican replacement for the Affordable Care Act anytime soon. First, he canceled on Next. Then his office said he couldn't talk to Balance of Power on Sunday. 9 News political analyst Kelly Maher and Ian Silveri both agree we all deserve answers.
Do you think that Congressman Buck should just come on the show and answer some questions? The reality is, I like him a lot. I think he's a great guy, but I think that he owes both Democrats and Republicans an answer on this issue. Healthcare is going to be a problem moving forward.
The point is, Republican politicians have a problem right now all over the country, and this is what you're seeing. They're having a hard time because they've had 7 years to come up with a replacement for the ACA and have absolutely no actual policy solutions to the healthcare crisis we have in America. And they're hiding from their constituents, and they're hiding from unfriendly, or I shouldn't say unfriendly, I should say press that isn't explicitly friendly.
You can watch that full interview on Balance of Power with Brandon Ritteman on Sunday morning at 8:45, right before Meet the Press. Civic Center Park was filled with hundreds of people smoking pot yesterday and piles of trash this morning. A lot of you weren't too happy about the mess left after the 420 rally. We got a lot of emails about it. Next called the city We learned the organizers have until midnight tonight to clean up. City officials will do a walkthrough tomorrow morning. If it's still a mess, the city will keep the organizers' $2,800 deposit to clean up the trash or repair any damage. A Kansas man was recently arrested for possession of pot. That's nothing new. We found out he used to come to Colorado to get his pot for his own medical reasons. We also found one of the charges he's facing might reveal a bit of a double standard. Larry Burgess lives in Kansas and says he grows his own pot to control seizures. Problem is, marijuana is still illegal in Kansas. Not only was he arrested for having pot, but he was arrested for not paying state taxes on the pot, something known as a drug tax stamp. Look at Kansas law. Drug dealers are required by law to purchase drug tax stamps. So Kansas's motto is, don't do drugs, but if you do, make sure you pay your taxes. Larry tells us he used to come into Medicine Man in Aurora to get pot until he learned how to grow it and extract it at home.
A ton of people come from out of state, and that's great for Colorado. And what those people do with their marijuana is really none of my business. And I would also step forward and say that it's really none of the government's business either, especially when they're using it to feel better. I would never condone anyone taking this out of state to sell. Right? That's not what we're here for. And I don't condone anyone taking it out of state, period. But I'm empathetic or sympathetic to people who take it out of state because they're sick.
Now, Sally tells us as soon as a customer says they're buying pot to take it out of state, they stop the sale altogether. Well, when you look at her, you may see a perfect, loving mom. What you won't see is the inner battle she fought that destroyed her family and even cost her her kids. Lindsay, a recovering heroin addict, talked about the ongoing problem of addiction and how it started with prescription drugs.
There's just something in my brain. It just opens that door, and as soon as I start taking that drug, it's just the addict in me hits the ground running. The children are always caught in the crossfire. They are the greatest victims in it. They didn't ask for it. They just stand by helplessly and watch this happen. And I have 2 children, and they didn't deserve what I put them through. They deserve so much better. At the time, living in it, all you think about is how are you going to get the next bag? How are you going to feel better? And at that point, it's not even to get high anymore. It's just to be able to function, to get out of bed, to not be in pain. I'm so far deep in needing and wanting to not feel awful. I don't even realize that I have an addiction, that I have a problem. It was many years later before I even realized that I am an addict, I do have a problem, and I need help. I'm no longer ashamed to admit that I am a recovering addict. I know my past, I know what I've done, I know what I've been through, but because I got through it and I was able to change, I don't have to hold my head down. I can look people in the eye. I'm Lindsay, and I am a recovering addict.
Lindsay says she stopped when she was court-ordered to go to the Haven. She's sharing more of her story at the Friends of the Haven benefit next Thursday night. We're posting that information in a hotline number where addicts can seek help on the next section of 9news.com. The small southern Colorado town of Alamosa is remembering a local teacher who had a huge impact on generations of families. 70-year-old Robert Reed passed away Monday. Most people knew him as Jerry. He taught in the Alamosa School District for nearly 30 years, and one of his former students talked about his legacy.
His entire philosophy was to go around and make sure everyone in his life knew how much they were loved and appreciated. He shows up at Christmas pageants and plays Santa, and he was always there, and he was always willing to spend whatever time he had with whoever needed him at the moment. That loss for all of us is huge. But we can honor his memory by loving each other. And that's what I want for my hometown and for the rest of Colorado, just to love each other.
Reed's funeral is tomorrow at the Alamosa High School football field at 11 a.m. It's open to the public. Colorful Colorado will be a little gray tomorrow, but Danielle's pulling the paintbrush out from when the sun returns. and we dig into the comments box at RTD and find some happy customers. Apparently, if we asked, is the number 15 bus working today? The answer would often be yes.
For all the people who rag on RTD, there are plenty of other people who really appreciate them, like the 5th and 6th graders at Park Hill Elementary School. They rode the RTD bus number 15 to a field trip at the Colorado Symphony earlier this year, and they all wrote thank you letters.
Ella says, "Dear RTD number 15 bus drivers, you do a very good job on driving a clean and safe bus." Nathan wrote, "Luckily, not even luckily, your guys' work isn't luck, it's action." James says, "Your buses are spick and span." Brock wrote, "Without the RTD bus, I couldn't get home most days. Not only do you get me places, you do it with a smile." Cammie isn't afraid to admit this. "Thank you so much for enduring our loud, disruptful class and grade. You helped us practice social intelligence," says Taylor. But our favorite is Liam. "The city bus is so much more cheaper than the school bus. The school bus is expensive and dirty, but your buses are cheap, clean, and efficient, so it's way better. P.S. I really like tacos." Then he drew a taco bus.
Who doesn't like tacos, right? Tacos and the weekend. Oh, what a fantastic combination. We're going to be watching for a little bit of early morning fog tomorrow, possibly a few isolated showers, some clearing in the afternoon, but still a cool day with high temperatures in the mid-50s, mid-70s with sunshine on Sunday. We had plenty of powder up in the mountains. Dustin Schaefer across the Loveland ski area played hide and go seek. My goodness, they saw about a foot of snowfall within the past 2 days. Rain showers currently in parts of Morgan and Washington counties. Here in the metro area, we're still dry. A few isolated showers beginning to develop in Boulder along Highway 93, moving closer toward Broomfield and into Commerce City. The rest of tonight, off and on showers possible. Into tomorrow morning with the cooler temperatures, you might find a few flakes. They won't add up. We'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies tomorrow afternoon, and then finally some clearing by Saturday night. Mid-70s, plenty of sunshine on Sunday. A quiet beginning to the week, but then I'm tracking scattered showers, possibly some thunderstorms Tuesday and beyond. Steve?
Thanks, Danielle. A 6-year-old girl's dream was to grow up and become a firefighter. Because of a terminal disorder, she wasn't going to get that chance. But today, Olivia became an honorary firefighter with the help of Make-A-Wish, Littleton Fire Rescue, and South Metro Fire. 9 News photojournalist Byron Reed was there for her special day.
Princess Olivia, we need you to respond to a dumpster fire.
She is a ball of fire. Today, her wish came true to become a firefighter. She's in intestinal failure, and we don't know how much longer she has. And so we made a bucket list, and one of her things was to become a firefighter.
See how far we can get it to go? When we found out that she wanted to do this, we were very thrilled to be able to help out.
I mean, I don't even have words to describe how I feel. It's just a bunch of ball of emotion. We moved here from Texas a few years ago to seek out treatment. Her intestines just shut down one at a time.
And we knew that Olivia lived in Littleton's fire district. Since Littleton and South Metro train together and respond to emergencies together, it only made sense that we could come together on this and both show her a great time.
Way to go, Olivia!
So here's my bucket list.
She wanted to do this. I didn't know that it would come true.
Be a fireman.
We got to do that, so they have to check it off.
Thanks for being a great boss.
Awesome. I was resting for a while so I can feel good.
The outpouring of support that our little community has given, you just can never repay that.
Good job. Yeah, there we go.
We just take it one day at a time, and we're thankful for what we have.
Remember this moose just chilling on a patio in Silverthorne? Next viewer Teresa O'Brien shared these photos with us last week with the caption reading, "Pretty darn Colorado." And Teresa, we thought so too. But one viewer disagreed. He argued moose are not originally from Colorado and we need to check our facts. Thank you for writing in, George. We did just that. Colorado Parks and Wildlife tells us moose from Wyoming were introduced here in 1978 because researchers believed the state had a great habitat for moose to thrive here. Since then, the population has grown and done well. CPW believes they are very Colorado now. We agree.
And I think moose are Colorado animals now. I think it's true that historically they weren't, but they're doing really well and people are seeing them. And we're really proud that they are doing so well in our state. They are so popular with folks to go wildlife watching. We have a moose festival on the West Slope. And now they are becoming animals that you can see out in the wild.
For the second night in a row, there's a sold-out show at the Paramount Theater in Denver. It involves a movie you've probably seen more than once. His name is Noel Brennan. He did an interview. Prepare to watch.
Inconceivable, it may seem.
We had 1,600 people here last night.
But the show that sold out an iconic Denver theater.
We're in the Paramount Theater, by the way, in Denver, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful theater.
Is a showing of a 30-year-old movie.
I call this movie the gift that keeps on giving.
You can probably quote better than its star.
You know, I've met people who have whole sections of the script tattooed on their body. It's just insane.
But as you wish, Cary Elwes will share his favorite line.
Anybody want a peanut?
From The Princess Bride.
I love Anybody Want a Peanut when Andre says that. I don't know why. It's just so silly.
Elwes was the swashbuckling straight man, surrounded by silly.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
He based his character Wesley, in part, on a Denver native whose movies are older than the Paramount.
One of your famous Denver residents, Douglas Fairbanks, was a great inspiration to me, and has been for a while, actually. I mean, he was the king of Hollywood at one point, and one of the greatest swashbucklers of all time.
Elwes even stole a few sword-fighting moves from Fairbanks' flicks.
And I said we should look at all their fight sequences again, and really study them in detail and see if we can learn anything from them.
They did, and a movie is remembered for its action, as well as its humor.
I mean, I can't remember a single day without laughter.
Elwes knows there's one role people will talk about well after he's mostly dead.
When I die, it's the headlines are going to be, you know, Wesley's gone. It's not going to be any of the other roles I played.
That's far from inconceivable.
We're all connected through this wonderful thing called The Princess Bride. Forever.
For next, I'm Noel Brennan.
Inconceivable. Elwes is in town for 2 special screenings of The Princess Bride. After the movie, he answers questions from the audience. Well, it's Friday. We end the week with good news, so pull out your phones and tell us about the good things that happened to you. It wouldn't be Friday on Next without our weekly dose of good news. Photojournalist Byron Reed got the good assignment today.
I'm thankful I got the day off work to come spend the day with my little girl at the zoo. She's thankful she lost her first tooth last night.
I'm thankful for the baby giraffe, penguin, the tigers, the seals.
For his first birthday.
His first birthday.
Today, so we're just out celebrating.
We tried for quite some time to have a little guy here, and so we're very excited to have him with us.
Yes.
This is one of her first time at the zoo, and we're celebrating Austin's birthday with him. We're just so blessed with him. We just wish him all the good things. Can you tell Austin? Tell him we love you. Bye. We love you.
Hey, guess what? Kyle is back on Monday, so I guess I'll see you next time.